Okay, time to check your answers. And if you don't have these, just let me know and I'll explain. So number one, really the important thing to see if you got it all right is this right here, this velocity. If you have 12 meters per second for that velocity, for the velocity of this little cart, then you probably did it all right. So the total momentum at the beginning is 0, which means the total momentum at the end is 0. And this thing you can calculate has a momentum of 12, which means this one's got to have a momentum of negative 12 because they've got to add up to 0. And then using the momentum formula for the velocity of that by dividing momentum by mass.
How'd you get 12?
Oh, should be negative 12. Negative 12 divided by 1 is negative 12. This negative 12?
Yeah.
The net momentum is 0, and the net momentum is the total momentum that you get when you add them up. And this momentum is 12, so if you need to add up the momentum of this plus this and get 0, if this is 12, what do you add to 12 to get 0? And the answer is negative 12. Yeah. And if you want to write that out, you could write yourself a little formula or a little equation. You could say the net momentum sum, I'll just write vector sum of momentums. So the net momentum is 0, and this one is 12 kilograms meters per second, and this one, I'll just call that x. So I've basically got 0 equals 12 plus x. And if I'm solving for x, I just subtract 12 from both sides, I get negative 12 equals x. So it's that. Right, number 2, the final part of this is this 3.8. So if you figured out that these are going 3.8 meters per second to the right after they're stuck together, then you must have done everything else right. So to get there, first you need to get the net momentum in the beginning, and you have to take the mass of this, 3, multiply it by the velocity, so its momentum is 15. The mass of this is 2 times its velocity of 2 gives you 4. 15 plus 4 is 19. And the law of conservation of momentum says that total momentum has to stay the same. So I put 19 here. And now in the after, there's just one object. Here there were 2 objects. In the after, we've got one 5-kilogram object. And its momentum has to be the total 19 because there's nothing else over here to share that momentum with. So to find velocity, again, you just do momentum divided by mass to get velocity. 19 over 5 is 3.8. The final answer is this. This velocity is negative 1/2. And it has to be because the total momentum here is negative 2. And the total momentum of here has to be negative 2. And that means the total momentum of this thing is negative 2. And its mass is 4, so its velocity's got to be 0.5. In this one, there's no movement here, so there's 0 net momentum, which means there's got to be 0 net momentum here, which means whatever momentum either of these has, the other one has to have the opposite momentum. And the one you can figure out is this one. It's got 2 kilograms, its velocity is negative 6, so its total momentum is negative 12, which means this one needs to be positive 12, because they need to add up to 0. And if this is positive 12, and its mass is 1, then its velocity is 12. Any questions? So you've got 15 minutes now. If you need any help from me or you're worried about the test,